Citizens of the World, Episode 4, Formula Fiends, welcome back.
Let's go. Coming out the back of an exciting Qatar Grand Prix weekend. A lot happened.
Yeah.
A lot. It's kind of hard to remember everything, especially like on a sprint weekend.
Yeah.
2 qualifying sessions, 2 races, a practice that we don't watch, of course.
We should watch it.
Yeah, we definitely should. Or highlights. I don't know. I feel like practices, they're like beneficial to see like kind of how teams are doing, but like vibe wise, but it's so hard to tell like performance wise.
That's true.
Okay, so first thing we should just talk about, Max got the world championship.
You did.
Like, I almost forgot. When I was writing the script today for the pod, I was like, oh, yeah, that happened. Because it's just, like, such a given all year since, like, race 4 when Checo started his decline in the car.
Yeah, nothing too exciting, but excited for the guy. Won it in the sprint.
Yeah, which was weird.
Yeah. I remember I saw a video of him saying, like, it would be nice to win on Saturday, and then, like, kind of insinuating he'd party a little bit and then have, like, a chill Sunday.
Like, shit race? Like, I'm confused by that.
No, he just meant, like he's going to party on Saturday.
Oh, and
which
just,
is kind
like,
of fun.
Be hungover for a Sunday race?
I guess so. I'm sure
he
had
doesn't
a few
care.
drinks.
He doesn't care, yeah. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Or he just partied a lot Sunday night.
Yeah.
Because there's no race the next day, and like, I would have like taken my mechanics out to eat and like party and all that.
Yeah. But he's been knowing, right?
What?
That he's gonna win it.
Yeah. It's been
like
come on, for forever. But off Max's highs, there were some lows, and I think someone who actually needed to have a good weekend the most was Liam Lawson.
Interesting.
Because it's his, arguably his last, for sure his last race of the season.
Yeah, unless something else happens.
Yeah, I think Danny Rick would race in Austin even if he wasn't fully up to health, because I think he loves that track and he just needs to get back in that car.
Yeah.
But yeah, he spun out in the sprint.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Last place in the race, right? I think.
I
think so.
No. I mean, maybe.
Like, out of the people who finished.
Yeah.
I think he was the last. So it'll be interesting because he needed a good performance, I feel like, to get him on a high note for possible seats next year. But I think he still, like, overall did a great job. Throughout
these couple races.
Yeah, his time in the car. So I think he's still in good like form for people looking at him.
Yeah, definitely.
At him. Also Logan, tough weekend.
Yeah. I think the thing about that is, like, we were like, when we were watching it, we're like, oh fuck, I'm embarrassed to be an American. And it was like kind of tough, but then
when he was getting out of the car,
and he was like,
when he stopped early,
I don't feel well. But then after the race ends, and everyone's talking about it.
Sense.
Yeah,
made a lot more sense. He also did spin out in the sprint though, so he basically got like less than half of the running time as everyone else. And once again with him, he's trying to secure his seat for next year. So not the best look ever.
No.
And then I want to say third of the lows.
A lot of lows.
Can you guess?
Hamilton.
I mean, that
Carlos?
was a pretty big low. I was gonna say Checo.
Oh, Checo, yeah.
Because like
a lot of lows, guys.
Because he crashed out in sprint, which was arguably not his fault, I would say, because it was Nico got squeezed by Esteban when they went 3 wide, and then it was kind of like Checo was turning, and then it got hit mid-turn. So like, it wasn't his fault, but he also shouldn't have been back there in the first place.
Yeah,
fighting those guys. You're in a Red Bull, Checo. Remember that. And then also he finished 10th, I think, in the race after all his track penalties.
Yeah,
I think he got like
10th.
15 seconds in penalties or something like that. Something ridiculous. So that was just shocking, and I don't know what Red Bull's going to do once that car's not in peak performance.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're gonna even do work on the car to try to make it better for him specifically, or they're just gonna be like, "Fuck it, we're."
It's only Max, I think, that they care about. It's
Yeah.
like that's why everyone struggled in that second Red Bull seat is they build the car around Max, and he likes a very pointy car,
Yeah.
a lot of oversteer, and I think Checo likes more understeer. And I think that's why he was better at the start of the season too, is because the car was more understeery and it wasn't to Max's
Yeah.
full comfortableness. But I mean, still Max, and I think he still beat him at the beginning overall. But it was close.
Yeah, it's also tough to watch because not only is he not performing, but he's also like not the kind of character that I think a lot of people are looking for in having like a second driver like him. Like if he was more like a Danny Rick kind of personality, maybe it's a bit more like, oh, we'll keep him around.
Yeah,
But he's kind of a downer.
yeah.
I mean,
no.
rightfully so, but
I think he's just upset with his pace. Like I think he's a really good guy,
yeah.
but yeah, he's a little bit older. He's just like, and maybe that's a language barrier thing that he's
Yeah,
not
it could be.
fully confident. I mean, he's like good English, but like maybe it's just not the same to like joke around in English.
Yeah,
and
totally.
kind of be your full self. And I think he's just like media trained and all that. And some drivers keep their funny sides closed off a little bit more. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would like to see someone else in that seat personally.
me
I just
too.
think he hasn't shown that he deserves it fully, and I think Red Bull has some good options.
They do have some good options.
Down below, or even from a different team. Lando Norris. But yeah, so some definite lows. Sprint, I would say Sprint was the highlight session of the weekend for sure. The sprint race.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think it just had, like, you didn't have the weird strategy BS.
Yeah, that was
You had a
annoying.
bunch of overtakes. You had some safety cars. You had Oscar Piastri taking his first dub ever in Formula One with an asterisk because it's a sprint race. But
We'll take
still,
it.
it was.
One.
Did you see Lando's interview after that?
No.
They were like, how does it feel to have your teammate win before you in
Damn.
Formula One in his rookie year? And he's like, obviously it's hard, but he performed better and
Yeah.
got the win. And like, I don't know, he took it well, but you
Mhm.
could definitely see there was a bit of disappointment. I think it would have been a lot.
Definitely.
I think he would have been a lot more disappointed if it was a real race and not the sprint race. But yeah, I think that's just interesting, and we'll see. We'll see, because Oscar finished ahead of him in the race too.
Yeah.
So if he keeps doing this, it'll be interesting to see how the relationship goes, because I feel like right now it's pretty stable. But
Yeah.
I think like what we're seeing with the Mercedes, the more competitive it gets, the more on edge it gets. So
Yeah, especially if something like some sort of position swap error or a crash
yeah,
or some sort of dispute within the team happens, that could trigger possible Lando
chaos.
to the Redo Bolo.
Yeah. If that's so out there though.
That's out there.
It is out there.
But yeah, I guess McLaren, Zach Brown, Lando, they have that connection, and it's been so strong. So
yeah. No, I think
Yeah.
he's going to be a McLaren guy forever, but
yeah, could
Yeah.
be good for him too.
no, it could push him. Could
Yeah,
make him better, and
Definitely.
I don't know. I have good hopes because I am a McLaren guy, but
And
We will
a
see.
quadrant guy as well.
yeah, that's true. Double biased. Anything else you want to say in the sprint? I guess it was kind of interesting that the softs dropped off that quick. I guess tire deg was a big
Yeah.
concern. Because it was like George took the lead and then like the mediums just took over. Like I think Lando was down in 7th or 6th, and then he got third overall at the end. So he passed all those medium runners to get up there, which was interesting.
Yeah, it was no pit stops, right?
No pit
Yeah,
stops. And I think that's part of the reason maybe why they introduced the 3-stop
Yeah.
minimum race, and like you have to pit by a certain lap just because how bad the tire wear was.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that later, I guess.
Yeah. It was a weird weekend. A lot of
So
rules.
weird.
It felt like
So
a
weird.
school test.
It was just
Almost.
like,
Not even like a race.
yeah, I don't know. It was just a funky one. I think the sprint, though, was good. The sprint felt
Yeah.
normal, felt fun, felt exciting, felt like how a sprint should feel. Because, like, it felt like, because sometimes I feel like they don't push fully because they're like, oh, it's only a sprint race. But this
Yeah.
one felt like they were going for it.
Yeah, definitely.
And, yeah, I enjoyed it. So, race.
I'm curious. So they used medium and soft.
Mm-hmm.
No one used hards. Or maybe
Not in the
some-
sprint.
Not in the sprint. Okay.
In the race, they did.
I'm curious how that affected like their tire usage on the race day.
Well, I think they had to use used mediums because they used them in
Okay.
the sprint or in qualifying. No, and probably in, I don't know. I remember hearing at some point someone was using used tires at the start. And
Yeah.
that was like a factor.
Yeah. It's like a lot of tire management.
Yeah, it was just a very strategy heavy race. What are your thoughts on the forced 3-stop in a certain lap area? And
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I think so. The reason was it for safety?
yeah, it was
For safety?
because like it just like the tires were exploding last year.
Yeah.
I think they saw how poorly the tires were performing in probably qualifying and practice.
Yeah.
I don't know when they announced that they're going to do that, but I think they were definitely concerned about that.
I just don't like it because it's like obviously no one wants their tires to explode
Mhm.
and no one wants to crash. So just let the teams figure out their own strategy, and if they crash, then that's their fault.
Yeah.
And it's like a pretty safe track. It's a MotoGP.
Yeah, so like lots of runoff.
Lots of
So
runoff.
It's like no one's hitting a wall.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Um,
I also think they could have done like maybe a mandatory 3-stop, but then the drivers pick when they want to pit. Like it shouldn't be
Yeah.
like you have to pit
Yeah,
by lap
exactly.
35, and then that also just made it hard to follow because I remember we were watching the Alfa Romeos and we're thinking they were going on a
Mhm.
4-stop because they pitted early.
Yeah.
But then they just ended up going 3 and it ended up doing well. And yeah, it was just like I never knew what the actual order was when they were racing. And
it's confusing.
it was just a lot of brain power and I didn't have enough of it.
Yeah, it was just like chapters of the race, and I
Mhm.
just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'd say just let them drive. If their tires pop, then that's their fault. They know all that data.
Yeah, no,
They
for
know
sure.
how well their tires are doing.
And I think also it kind of ruined the excitingness of the race too, because in the sprint you saw the softs drop off and people in the medium succeed, but you didn't really
Yeah.
see that in this because they're all on a pretty similar degradation and like strategy,
Yeah.
and all that. So it was kind of like they were just pushing all pretty similar. So it was just like minute gains in time. It wasn't like oh, Hamilton, I mean he crashed out, but let's say George is on the hards for like the rest of the race and like can he keep it?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like all that. So there was none of that, and which was a bummer.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of the whole weekend in general.
Yeah.
Just in terms of it was just like the heat. The racetrack wasn't crazy good for racing. It was like a cool track.
Yeah.
High
I
speed.
actually like the track a lot.
Yeah.
I think that might be bold to say. I don't know how people feel about it, but I think in the right conditions, like I think if they did it at the beginning or end of the year,
Mhm.
like in like more towards winter time and it's not so hot,
Yeah.
and they like once the track like rubbers in a little bit more because it was like freshly paved and
Yeah.
like weathers a little bit, I think it's gonna be a pretty fun track.
Yeah. I think different time of year. I think someone in the post-race interviews was saying like December. I think it was
Yeah.
Ocon.
Okay.
He was saying
like race then.
Yeah, race in December.
Yeah.
I don't know what the temps are like, but
I mean that's when they did the World Cup,
Yeah.
so I would assume that'd be better, at least better.
yeah, at least it's gotta be better. It's like still
And also, I think all the heat was also because they had to do that set strategy. So
Yeah.
I heard drivers saying that made it so like because there's no worry about tire deg, they're basically doing 57 qualifying laps in a row, Like they were pushing like the whole time.
Oh wow.
So it's like usually when your tires get bad, you nurse the tires and you're
True.
not pushing all the time.
Yeah.
So that was like part of the reason why. So it was so physically demanding
Yeah.
because of that. There's no tire dag. So it was like the FIA was trying to solve one safety problem and it ended up bringing up a pretty bad one.
Yeah.
At the same time. I guess we could just stay on topic with it. I don't know how much did you hear like driver interviews afterwards? Like
Yeah. And I read like quotes and stuff.
yeah, I thought it was crazy to me that Ocon threw up in his helmet
Yeah.
and then kept going and like I can't believe that, dude.
Yeah.
And then like Stroll is saying he was passing out mid corner, which I don't really understand, but
I think it's like because you're the G-force.
yeah, but like
And like the blood.
I feel like
something
that
about
would
his
really
blood
fuck
pressure.
with you, but like maybe he could just like
Like,
deal with it and
Yeah.
maybe more of a feeling than full on blackout. But
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
and
yeah. You saw the videos of them getting out of their cars.
Yeah.
And they're just like
crazy.
"Oh."
Yeah, and it makes sense that Logan did that, and I think he was confirmed later on that he had a fever.
Yeah.
Before.
Something like that. That's
So-
why I felt not felt bad about saying I was embarrassed to be American, but I have sympathy for him.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just like it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Like no hard feelings, nothing. I did find a quote though from Martin Brundle,
Oh, I'd love to hear
who
it.
was not at the race
Yeah.
this weekend, which happens. We had Karoon filling in for him. All right, Martin Brundle, quote. It's from Twitter.
Okay.
It's races like Qatar and very rainy days which make F1 drivers look like the heroes and athletes that they are. Absolutely don't buy into the weak view. We shouldn't put them through this kind of challenge. Check out Senna in Brazil, Stewart at a rainy Nürburgring, Lauda post-crash, etc., etc. So he's basically saying, like, don't have sympathy almost for the driver. Not sympathy, but, like, he's almost saying, like, we shouldn't ever, like, have good racing conditions, like, pure, where, like, they don't struggle
Totally.
at all. Which is an interesting take, I think, right after the race, too. Because, like, drivers were physically hurt.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of a bold comment from him.
Definitely a bold comment. Does he have racing experience?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
in
yeah?
F1.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. He wasn't like great, but he was respected
Yeah,
in it.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I kind of thought about it today and yesterday, and it's like, yeah, it's just like what they want to do, and if the race is there, then they're gonna push for it and go as hard as they can.
Yeah, I think this one was just a little extreme because I
Yeah.
think we've seen hard races in Singapore
Mhm.
when they're like they get out of the car and they're like sitting down and super sweaty, but you don't want a driver thrown up in his own helmet.
Yeah, or if they're passing out, like let's
Yeah.
say one of them passes out and hits a wall or something like that, then
Or,
it's
like,
like, oh, that's not good. That's
Passes
not what
out
we
and
want.
leaves their foot on the pedal or something,
Yeah.
so they don't break it all and they just go straight on. Like that would be bad because that happened to there's a bad video. I think it was. Oh, I can't remember the driver's name, but he got hit by debris falling off a car and it knocked him out,
Oh, that's-
and he just went straight on.
Oh, jeez.
And that's like, yeah, so that's like you don't want a driver passing out and just leaving the foot on the brake and just
Mhm.
going straight onto the barriers because they're not meant for that.
Yeah.
Like even
True.
though F1's very safe, like that's how you get seriously injured. So yeah, there's definitely a balance, but it does make you respect the drivers a
Yeah.
lot, and how challenging.
Also,
they
the
are.
combination with the sprint weekend.
Yeah,
I'm curious how different it would have been with no sprint.
yeah, that's a good point because maybe they were like already dehydrated
Yeah,
after the
totally.
sprint and like sore, like whatever, mentally
Just more
strained. Yeah, but I think it would have been bad no matter what because I think George Russell said it like he wanted to get out of the car by like lap 6 or something like that,
Oh my God.
which is fucked. Like
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
he was like, I think he said like, you know, when you're in the sauna and you have the urge to get out. Yeah, he had that at like lap 6.
Wow.
So I can't imagine. And we saw him like doing his hands, like trying to get air
Yeah.
in while in eighth
The
gear going down the
visors.
straight. Yeah, wild.
Yeah,
So-
I'm curious how. I personally think something will change by next year. Like I don't think it'll be a sprint in October this weekend.
Well, yeah, and I just don't think they're gonna do this 3 mandatory stop again.
Yeah,
Like,
I think something has to change.
I think they realize that they kind of screwed up on this, and that they just added another safety issue. So I think you learn and then you move on.
Yeah,
but
it was fun though.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
True.
Interesting. I guess we should talk about Mercedes. Probably the biggest part of the race, Lewis crashing into George.
Yeah.
I originally thought it was George's fault from the onboard because that's the first replay we saw, and George had a little bit of understeer he corrected for. So I was like, oh my God, George hit him. But then on the helicopter footage, you can easily see that Lewis kind of just turned in a little too sharp, and he had nowhere to go.
George was pretty much sandwiched there. He couldn't move right.
Yeah,
because of Max.
Do you think this is gonna cause any beef?
No,
I
don't think so. I think if it's I think when this happens, like when Lewis causes it, I think it's fine, just because he's like, the GOAT or whatever. And he apologized.
Mm-hmm.
Big old dap.
Yeah, was it? I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No.
Oh, dude, huge, like
just like wind up,
big wind up, hug.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I'm so sorry about that."
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, dude, you gotta see
I
it.
only saw his post race interview where they like were talking to him about, and he's like, "It's my fault. Like, sorry to the team. Blah blah blah." I thought it was gonna get spicy for a second though when I heard his team radio right after the crash.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe my teammate crashed me out or something like that.
That's just the immediate reaction.
Adrenaline. Like that all makes sense. But I think it does show that they're extremely competitive with each other. So I don't think this is going to be the last time they race each other hard, and something could happen. I've been saying it. We've been saying it, that once they have a good competitive car, we could see that relationship getting some cracks in it.
Yeah.
So
we mentioned that, I think, episode 2.
Yeah, I think so.
We actually talked about this exact same thing.
And it kind of happened, but not fully. But
not
it was
fully.
it was a little taste.
Yeah.
Taste of what's to come.
A little what's it called? Before the earthquake comes.
Oh,
or tsunami or something like that.
It's the earthquake before the tsunami.
Oh,
is that it?
There's a lot of references.
Yeah.
Thunder before the lightning. No, lightning before the thunder. No one says that.
The cool before the storm.
Yeah, something before the storm.
Yeah, I think it's the cool before.
The cool?
Because it gets cold before the storm, or it's like very
something
like
before the storm.
Not windy before the storm hits.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Comment below what it is. Something like
that.
give
us some metaphors. The world is built on metaphors. Okay, what else was in the race? Let me check my notes. Do you have any notes? Fernando was interesting to me this race. I think he was doing pretty well. He complained about his car was hot seat, but that was everyone. But he was just miles ahead of Stroll like usual. And he was having a great race, but then went wide into the gravel, and then with dirty tires flew back onto the track.
Absolutely. Like, we were watching it and we're just like, what the hell? Like, and just like right in front of Leclerc.
Yeah, it was right. Just like, and what's crazy to me is he's on dirty tires and he's never driven that part of the track, and he just
he just sent it.
Like sent it, but like took a good like amount of speed. I feel like I think it definitely wasn't safe. I think he probably should have gotten a penalty for that, for unsafe getting back on track, whatever they call it. But yeah, kind of a dog for that.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I think Leclerc overtook him right away, which I think was that was unintentional though on Alonso, right? Because he just didn't have the speed. He wasn't like letting him pass.
Well, yeah, he joined the straight midway through, so you're never gonna have the pace to like really battle him.
Yeah,
unless you're like ahead.
True.
And I think he ended up finishing even after that, like P6. He was like right behind Leclerc, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, not a bad race.
So not a bad race for Aston Martin. It would have been interesting to see where he would have placed without that incident. Probably no better than 4. No, 5.
5.
He would have finished behind
I think it would
George.
be pretty similar.
Yeah. So, I think the only thing that would have changed was Leclerc would be behind him. But yeah. I think that's just showing that he's that guy, and he's just making the most out of Aston Martin. So
Yeah.
I just want to give a little bit of props to him for that, because he kind of flew under the radar a little bit, but
Yeah, well, didn't he have a good quali? Or he started like fourth.
yeah, he started 4th, I think, because I think he was right by
second
the
row.
2 Mercedes.
Or fourth or fifth or something.
Yeah, I think it was Red Bull, 2 Mercedes, and then it was hard because the McLarens didn't do great. Maybe Oscar was back there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to say fourth.
Yeah, it
Nah,
sounds
Does that sound right?
maybe 4th or 5th.
Fifth.
I don't
I
know.
think fifth.
It's hard. It's hard. A lot of stuff happened this weekend. It's hard to get it exact.
True. There's a lot of stuff.
Gasly off track overtakes was frustrating.
That was frustrating.
It was 2 where it was, what was that? Turn 2. It was main straight, turn 2, and he would just like go over and then knock the position back, and it would screw him up more later on. And I feel like he must have known he went off and overtook. I feel like it's just,
or at least his engineers
should have told him, because I feel like it's more beneficial for you to give that place back right away than to wait and get a penalty or have to give it back while you already pulled ahead and then have to like come back even more while you already took tires off. And I don't know.
And he got passed by Checo, and I believe because he cut in front of, or he went around Stroll.
Yeah.
And then do you remember he didn't give the position back, and then when he gave it back,
he
someone
got
else
double
passed him.
overtaken. Yeah, I think it was Checo, and then I think it was like an Aston Martin or something.
Which is kind of weird. It's like, oh, dude.
It's just, it just wasn't a lot of big brain moves for him, like, I don't know. And he was up in 7th for a bit.
Yeah,
and
I
thought
his qualifying was good.
Yeah, I thought like he had potential this race. Esteban did okay. I think Esteban finished 7th. Was Pierre, do you remember, 9th?
11th.
Out of the points?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. So just a little bit sloppy. But
Yeah.
Do you have any more notes on the race?
I'm usually not a Liam Lawson guy, but the one thing I will say is like to come in, and this is like his 3rd race in F1.
Third or fourth. Yeah.
And to come in and race in like arguably what other drivers were saying is like their hardest F1 race.
True. Yeah. I didn't even
Like
think about that.
he did okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
Just props for like finishing the race, and like he's probably not in the best shape, and like his neck's not there yet, and that's a really good call. And I think he did good in F1, and hopefully we'll see him back soon. I know you're not the biggest fan, but I think he's good.
Yeah, I saw him in the post race interview. He was like just wearing the ice pack vest
with no shirt on.
No shirt. I was like, oh, dude, you're not helping yourself.
You're not him yet.
No. You see how sweaty Lance was?
In the interview?
Yeah.
I remember some of the drivers being sweatier than others, but I remember Lance touching his nose a lot, dude. It was like the hardest race.
Coke.
Like,
Can we say that?
We'll bleep it.
Bleep it.
That's what I noticed from Lance. Okay, before we move on to the next segment, I want to say this podcast is sponsored by Modelo, Mexico's most refreshing beer. What do you have to say on Modelo?
I'm a big Modelo guy,
Yeah.
and you know that. You can vouch for me.
Yes, 100. Like, I would say I see you drinking Modelo's more than like most other beers.
Yeah, I get it. Pretty much every time, if I'm not every time, but if I'm like, I'll get a light beer or whatever it is.
Yeah. Pop a lime in there.
I love them. Yeah, and you put a lime in there, and it's like
it tastes bougie. It elevates it so much.
Just good.
Just great beer. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Go to formulafiends.modelo.itsmodelotime.com and use our link, please. And
90% discount.
Yeah,
Big
off a case. So you could even resell it if you wanted to. But yeah, thanks for Modelo for the sponsor. Cheers.
Cheers. It's Modelo time. Is that them? It's got to be.
Like that's like a meme version
Oh,
of it,
yeah.
where it's like the Mexican guys and he's like, it's Modelo time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but brewed for a fighting spirit is their main
Crisp
thing
finish.
they wanted us to say.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. That's how good it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Fantasy.
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
I guess I'll just start off and say, as usual.
Say it. Just say it.
As usual, I win.
Oh.
I win. I think I've won every round.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't.
Maybe one.
Maybe one. I
Maybe
won.
one you got in there.
But look at okay. I'm not that far off. We've been pretty even. I'm
Yeah.
less than 200 down.
Yeah.
What am I? 140, 130. Yeah.
But let's tell me what.
No, you go
Coin-
first, please.
Okay.
Please. I will. I'll
let me-
save that.
Let me review what team I had.
It's kind of annoying because I can't see. I guess I could do.
You can't use your phone.
I can't see my team because they removed the chip, so it went back to my old team.
Oh.
Do you know how I'd like see?
You could do
points? Like past.
past races.
I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like
It still shows yours.
as having like all my good people on it.
Yeah.
Can you see the points?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't. When I went to manage team, it was my old team. So
Go to.
if you can just have it, just give me your
yeah, I'll
phone maybe
just give it
after.
to you.
But you can talk about yours first.
Okay, so I actually had a pretty interesting team. Not actually interesting at all. Actually, a little bit. I had a classic Max, Carlos Sainz, which ended up being like there's
Yeah.
nothing I can do about
No,
that.
you can't predict that.
I don't know what to do about that. Oscar Piastri, which ended up being a really good pick.
Mhm.
Yuki, nothing crazy.
How many points did you get?
He got 11.
Okay,
So, like,
that's fine.
positive.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then my boy Guan Yu Zhou.
Yo, wow. How many points? Like
Who-
20?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, wow,
And
dude.
I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh,
For those who listen, I picked him up just because I had like an extra cost cap, and I was like, I'll just pick him up.
and then
And
they
then-
have the best race of the year.
Yeah, best race of the year.
I picked Bottas in betting. We'll get to that, but I
Yeah.
picked him being last. I just, they like honestly shout out to them though.
Yeah,
like
pretty cool.
that's got to be good for the team. Good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing those. Those are just like feel good guys to be
Yeah,
up there. Like just
exactly.
nothing. Like we don't hear a lot about them,
Yeah,
but like I have nothing bad to say about either Bottas
No.
or Joe.
positive guys.
Yeah,
I've heard things about Joe, and people say he's like a cool guy
yeah,
and like a good racer.
yeah. Just chill
So-
and like Bottas was like, I'm gonna get a beer in the hotel after this
Oh,
race.
did he?
Yeah, it was him and his race engineer. He's like,
That's awesome.
his race engineer was like, oh, you'll have to get a beer after this hard race. And he's like, there's no beer in like our
Oh,
team
yeah.
paddock because it's in the Middle East. And then he goes back to the hotel. He goes, for sure.
Oh,
So,
you think they bring it?
like, I think in the hotels you can have beer because it's like a Western style hotel.
Oh,
So if like
okay.
you're staying like in the Hilton or something, I think they can have because they own the property. Maybe I don't
yeah,
know.
something like that.
Um,
And then I had Red Bull and McLaren, classic.
mm-hmm.
So I ended up scoring 370 points.
Bags. That's like pretty
That's
good.
pretty good. That's pretty good. If it wasn't, Carlos got me minus 14.
Yeah, if it wasn't
Which
for
is like
that,
kind of shit.
you would have had probably the best weekend of our time playing fantasy,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
I don't know.
Oscar
I'm so
did me
bad
well.
at fantasy.
It's
Don't
your
even
team.
listen to me. Okay, so to remind you guys, I did the chip unlimited cost cap and transfers, which is like the most OP chip I think out there by far. So I doubled Max Verstappen. Damn, he got 124 points when you doubled him.
Who?
Max.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I don't understand fantasy, to be honest. The points. I need to read into it. I need to really digest the scoring.
Yeah, I don't
but
really
yeah,
get it either.
so I got Max big points. Oh fuck, what did I just click on?
You gotta scroll up.
Yeah. I had Lando. You had Lando or you had
I had
Oscar?
Oscar.
So he got more points
Yeah.
because Lando had 41. Oscar had do you remember?
56.
Okay. Yeah. Checo with -3. Regret that pick.
Yeah, I don't know why you picked him.
Because like I thought this was maybe Checo's redemption race.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, dude.
That's fair.
It's not like the hardest track to drive, like skill wise. Like, it's a pretty just like flowy, like simple track.
Yeah.
But he just was bad. And then Lewis crashed out, which was like, I think up, like that's a good
Yeah.
pick. I feel like
That's a good pick. That's
he
a
was
great pick.
almost P2. And then I had Charles in the Ferrari, which just wasn't there this weekend, which kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, I had McLaren and Red Bull. So I wasn't too far off you, but I used that mega chip, which just
Yeah.
was kind of a waste for that. And I'm back in points. So,
Yeah, I just beat you. I beat you barely. So.
yeah, I'm just keeping your hopes high until I come back at the end,
Yeah.
so I can just brag about the greatest comeback. And I'm winning in podium. So
True.
we each got 1 point this weekend.
Yeah.
Just the Max Verstappen win.
Who did you pick last week?
Last week?
Yeah. Or like, who were your predictions?
It was Max, Lando. I want to say like Charles. Yeah, Charles or Lewis. It was someone else. So the Lando was on podium, but just not the right spot. And then I got Max right. So
Yeah.
and you were
I was Max, Lando, Carlos, and then I just got Max. So
okay. Yeah.
4-2. We just got this little. What is it called?
Whiteboard.
Whiteboard. So
Learn the name, buddy.
we're gonna. It got salty.
A little bit. So we got this. We got some on the way. So we're gonna do some more like funny segments with the whiteboards, like some quizzing, so we can like flip the answers at the same time, add a little more drama, show off how bad I am at
I just
spelling.
thought I have a really good one.
I'm really nervous about my spelling, but it's okay.
Oh.
It's all
What
right.
are you gonna have to spell?
I don't know, like people's names and
Yeah, that's fair.
like I don't know how to spell Leclerc.
I bet you could spell it.
I can get close enough. And honestly, if I get flamed, it's just another comment down there that helps
Yeah.
out the
guy's
algorithm.
dumb.
So, yeah, I'm used to it. I could barely read Martin Brundle's quote, if you could tell. Or was that just slow for dramatic effect?
I was gonna say it was just for dramatic.
Or am I stupid? Let's just move on to betting. Something you don't know is we got $9 in the pot.
What?
So we bet 20 and we had $4 left. Can you guess why we have $9 in the pot?
Is it because there was a DNF or something?
One of your bets was a Carlos Sainz bet.
Oh.
So they gave it back to us.
Okay.
Because he didn't even he got messed up, which I respect.
I respect that too.
Like I was shocked to see that because it's like we use a little sketchy betting website because it's not fully accepted where we live.
Accepted.
Don't come after us. So we have to go through undisclosed Caribbean island betting site.
Friend.
So it's like, you pay with Bitcoin. It's like not the safest thing, but for them to like give you your money back, like that was shocking.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Wow.
would happen.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So
I guess that makes sense.
because you didn't even have a chance
Yeah.
of getting it. So it's like, it's almost like if you bet on like the Seahawks winning and they cancel the game.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like there's just no opportunity there and like no foreseen opportunity to like get it messed up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually worried about that, or I was pretty bummed.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's cool that happened, but still lost all our bets.
Yeah, we're changing our model.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go.
Well, let's explain our
Okay,
previous
yeah.
model.
You want to say your model first? Because I have a slightly different model.
Well, so pretty much for people who don't understand betting, and I'm not like a big bet guy. I kind of just started doing
This
it.
is
with
this is my first. I've only bet on Formula One.
Yeah.
And I just started with this podcast.
So it's like if it's plus 100, that means if you put in $100, you'll win another 100.
It's like double your money.
Double your money.
So it's
and
like
then,
a percentage kind of.
Yeah. And if it's minus 100, you put in 100, and then if they win or hits or whatever, then you just get your money back and you're at like a net zero profit.
No.
Yeah.
You still win money, don't you?
No. Because it's expected if it's minus.
I thought it was like.
Unless I'm tripping.
Maybe
Maybe I don't know.
This is how little we know about it. I thought it was like, even if it's minus 400, I think you win some money. It's just like a small percent. So I think you win. You win 50. So if it's minus 100, I think you bet $1 to win 50 cents.
Okay.
Am I tripping for that?
Maybe that might be right. But then why would you do it? For parlays?
Yeah, if you parlay it. And like, I don't know.
Okay. So
they're trying to make money. Like,
pretty much what we were doing, or what I was doing, is like,
here, let me check it out.
Yeah,
keep talking,
and
I'll pull it up.
So what I was doing was I was only doing bets that had high outputs. So like Pierre finishing P6, that was like plus 1,000 or something like that, because I didn't want to do just plus 150, because it's like I would only make a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm. And when we're only betting with like dollars,
yeah,
it doesn't look that enticing.
Yeah. So we were just doing like outrageous bets, like even like, I think Aiden did Charles winning, which is just like,
yeah, that's just ridiculous.
It's like not a great bet, but we're just doing it because we want that high output.
Okay, so I think I figured it out. So I just clicked on Max Verstappen minus 450. You win 22 cents.
Okay.
So I think minus 100 is you bet $1 to get $1 instead of $2.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that what I said? So put in 450 or $4.50 or whatever. Just do 450. Oh, what the fuck?
So $4.50 you win $1.
We need Leo Minichello up here.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it's like, does that make sense?
So pretty much if you bet,
let me go to like football.
With a minus.
I just want, give me like 100.
Yeah, give him 100. If you bet a minus, it's like impossible to get your money back.
Okay, this
or
one's
win it back fully.
This one's 105. Oh, wait, this one's minus. Well, that's not what. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. Clearly, we need to figure out what we're doing. All right, are you done with your strategy? I wasn't really listening.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine, I think I'm going to go. I didn't hear you said it all, so this is all off the dome.
That's fine.
Clearly, I can't multitask.
Well, explain your previous model.
Okay, my previous model was I liked the big numbers.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was saying.
And I just threw it on there. I'm going to change it up by... I really like predicting the podium positions, because I think you can still get some good odds.
Yeah.
And win some money. And I think like betting top 6 is kind of fun.
Yeah, top 6.
And I think I might even try parlaying like a max win in someone else's podium.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 like not very interesting bets, but when you parlay them together, it makes it more interesting. So
yeah.
I don't know. Some change of strategy. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it doesn't work. Might even need to look up some YouTube betting videos to see how to fully maximize. And it's weird for a sport like Formula 1 too, I would say, because it's not like you're betting on the outcome of like a game, like 2 football teams facing off. It's like you're betting on a driver who has a better car than another driver sometimes.
Yeah.
And like if they crash, they're done. Like it's kind of interesting, because I guess it's like if a QB gets injured, that's pretty bad, but you still got 10 other guys on the field.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird sport to bet on, and especially like I think it would have been very fun to bet on, like let's say the 2021 season, where it was like you really didn't know who was going to win the race. It could be Max, could be Lewis, could be Charles, it could be whoever. Like it was mostly Max and Lewis, but we had some sneaky ones thrown in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also in Singapore, we bet on Max not winning, and that was kind of electric, because we got it right. I bet on Max not winning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
On Singapore?
Mm-hmm. I was like, that was our first. I think we can clip it.
Oh.
Go back. Maybe not. No chance I do it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I bet on him not winning there. It wasn't a big payout.
Okay.
But I did do that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I think it was because the Ferraris were already on pole, 1 and 2, or something.
No.
Oh wait, no,
I would bet before that.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, and then Carlos ended up winning that race, which was pretty cool.
So I think we're just gonna start playing it more safe. Maybe stack /
stack.
parlay.
One or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just like, and maybe like once we make a little bit of money, we'll throw in a risky bet here and
Yeah.
there to keep it fun, keep it interesting.
Yeah, I had Pierre finishing P6, and he qualified P7, and we were like, oh,
Yeah, we're
that's
like,
looking pretty
that's
good.
close. And then
Yeah.
like we said, he didn't have the best time.
You heard though he had like issues with power.
Oh yeah, it was his battery.
Yeah.
He couldn't like deploy any extra battery because the team like couldn't control it. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bummer. But
and maybe that's why he was pushing so hard and had that mess up around the outside, is because
Yeah.
he knew he didn't have the battery to do it down the straight. So he's like, this is my one opportunity.
True.
Like, let's try it out. And then it didn't work out, but at least he tried.
Yeah, so hopefully we start making some money. So what are we on the year now? Down $11.
Yeah, we're down. We got $9 in the bank. Started
Okay.
with 20.
It's not horrible.
No,
It's not bad.
and I have faith that we'll come
Yeah.
back.
Oh yeah.
It'd be fun to put up betting on here. Maybe just like a little side box, like our
Yeah.
how much we got in the bank.
Yeah, we should probably reformat it because we don't need like our names this big.
I mean, I think we'll see how it looks on camera, but
True. Or we could
Yeah.
do like a whole nother.
also comment any suggestions, like what you want to see on the whiteboard, what information
Yeah.
you want to see. And I guess we could change it up too, like, and once we get our personal whiteboards, I guess, like,
True.
we'll have stuff on there, and
Maybe some colors or something.
maybe we just get like 8 whiteboards and just around us. Just
Got one on our head. I was thinking a fun segment would be drawing them.
drawing
And then-
tracks. That would be
I was
fun.
thinking drawing drivers.
Yeah, drivers would be hilarious.
Or just like show them and we have to guess.
But also drawing
drawing
tracks,
tracks.
where like we do random track generator and then it throws it up and we have to do it from memory.
Yeah, that's
That's
super cool.
That's a really good
Yeah.
idea.
A lot of
Um,
opportunity with the whiteboards.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Okay. Funny seg?
Funny sag.
Funny seggy. Oh no, do you want to do, before we do funny segment, we should do driver of the day call out?
Driver of the day. What is that? DOTD. Dotty. Yeah, we just thought we should do driver of the day because sometimes we disagree.
Yeah, we disagree with the people because we're not sheep.
Yeah, we're not sheep. We don't
Yeah.
just do it because,
Everyone else wants us to.
yeah.
That's what you can look forward to in this podcast. Unfiltered, baby. You want to start? Or do you need
Sure.
to think about it? I have my pick.
Oh, we're doing top 3?
Sure.
Or we could do like a 1.
I was going to do a 1 and then maybe a
honorable
2
mention.
honorable
Oh,
mention.
yeah, I'm
and
down
then
for
if we have
that.
more, like, we can talk about it.
Okay, my driver of the DA is George Russell.
Me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boring.
No, just say it though. Say what you want to say.
Yeah, George Russell. Obviously the crash, turn
Mhm.
1, has to pit,
Mm-hmm.
and then comes back. Pace was unreal.
Mm-hmm.
He had that dog in him, and came back, and I think he finished 4th. Yeah,
Yeah. Great
That's
drive. Great drive.
and he was like gaining on him at the end.
Yeah, they were like, the McLarens were like a little bit nervous about
Yeah.
him coming up. So, yeah, just mad respect for him for having that incident at turn 1, probably thinking his race is over. And then the
Yeah.
team's like, we think we still have points on the day.
Yeah.
And he just put his head down and drove like a madman. And I respect that.
Yeah.
Carving up the field. It's not easy. Played it safe. I think he overtake when he needed to, held back when he needed to. Crikey.
Yeah.
Classic reference.
I don't get it.
He said it before because he's just British.
Oh. No, that's not a British thing.
Australian.
Yeah.
I swear I've heard him say it before, though.
Yeah. He's probably memeing. He's probably
Yeah.
making fun of people.
Yeah. Watch out, though. Long hair George is
Oh.
coming. Dude.
We haven't talked about long hair George yet,
No.
but I think we've all been noticing that he's moving away from the
Woody cut from
the
Toy
Woody
Story. From Toy Story, just like the classic, like just gelled up
gelled up
back.
British guy.
No, I think he's going like middle part kind of.
Yeah. He looks good.
Yeah, I think this is him.
Yeah.
This is his look. He had a good race. I think new hairstyle, new him.
Now, the question is, how long does he grow it?
That's a great question. I don't think he's going too long. You can't go too long. I think he's gonna like keep it like. I just watched the David Beckham documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Like kind of like retro David Beckham, like straight hair look, where it's like down and then kind of tapers off a little bit, and it's just like kind of like an ear height, like kind of not too far off what he's at right now, but I'm thinking a little bit longer in the back.
So it's not like he's not like tucking it behind. It's not to the
like
shoulders.
Maybe a little bit. Like he's like flowing it back, and it's kind of like curling a little bit. Not curling, but he's got straight ass hair. But like
no, it's
flowing.
It's a little flow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he's like a little bit more, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I'm also growing out my hair, so watch out.
Yeah, me too.
That's
I'm doing it for him.
That's when the podcast turns up. Once we got long hair.
Yeah.
Some chetty. Some Letty Chetty. Cool.
You want to hear my opinion on his hair?
Enlighten me.
I'm thinking to the shoulders, a little Seb.
That long?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a woman, dude.
Yeah. I think it's good for him.
Seb's was never that long.
It was pretty long.
Seb's curled more than his, though. It was like, I guess like the back was...
He had like the balding.
It was kind of like a mullet kind of because of the balding. And it was like kind of tucked and then just... Yeah, I guess it was pretty long.
It's pretty long. We'll see, though.
Yeah.
Comment what you think George will
do.
I wonder
if we can
hair.
bet on that. You want another beer?
Sure.
Okay. You want to say while I'm getting this out, your next pick?
My next pick,
like your honorable mention. Oh, this could be dangerous.
I'm gonna go Oscar Piastri, and I think the reason why he won Driver of the Day, like the actual F1 one, was because he got second. I think that's his best finish, and he beat his teammate, and he had a good drive. Look at the Johnny. There's more. Yeah. So yeah, he raced well. Had a good weekend overall.
Oh, such a good weekend.
I mean, are we talking like whole weekend?
No.
Driver of the W?
Just the race day. That's what it's called.
Yeah, true. We could change it though. Be a little unique.
I mean, yeah, I would think he would be my driver of the weekend.
Yeah, driver of the week.
I guess like Max had a better weekend, but Oscar is more memorable with his first win and outqualified his teammate as a rookie. Dude, did you see Lando's radio after he did bad qualifying?
No.
It's kind of sad.
Damn.
He's like, why am I so bad sometimes? Like, he gets upset with himself.
Gets upset.
Him and Charles both. They get like very mad at themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. He's a little too hard on himself, but I think it's good for him. Like we said, brings out that competitiveness.
Yeah.
You just can't get too messed up in it.
No.
But I think it's a good test for him because he's been beating his driver or his teammates for a while. So, yeah, shout out Oscar.
Yeah, shout out Oscar.
Sorry, I keep bringing it back to Lando.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just biased, dude.
I recommend the Pit Stop. Is it just Pit Stop Podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Pit Stop Podcast, Oscar Piastri episode. Cool episode.
Yeah.
You kind of get to know him. Seems like a really good guy. Chill, no bullshit. So yeah, recommend watching that if you like are looking for content.
Let me just shout out Pit Stop and P1. Just some motivation to start this podcast up. Yeah, doing great things in the industry. So we're trying to do our own thing, but just also mad respect to those guys. I'd say.
Yeah, funny guys too.
The Pit Stop ones are all four. Yeah,
I'd love to see a collab between them.
They have.
Oh yeah, they totally have.
Yeah, I think Matt's been on their podcast before.
I think they both have.
Okay.
They brought their dog. Or fucking
Tommy.
Tommy brought his dog.
I think they went to like their live show and stuff. Cool. So like, dude, it'd be cool to like live in London. So we're like more around Formula One because we're on a, like we said, motorsport island.
We're like so far away.
We're from London?
From everything. Like the nearest race is like Vegas.
Yeah, it's Vegas. Desert. Austin's close. Yeah, and Vegas is like a 3-hour flight.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. So we're up north, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's yours?
Mine was also gonna be Oscar.
Really?
My honorable mention.
guy.
Yeah, it's just like
Just saying what I'm saying.
it's just like easy to kind of pick those. Like I said earlier, I think Fernando needs a little shout out because I think
Okay.
he, even though he messed up, I think he's just fun to watch. And he did pretty well, I think, in the Aston Martin, sneaky
Yeah.
well, and just no one's talking about him. So, want to throw that out there.
Shout out.
Oh, shout out! Fucking the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah,
boys.
Alfa Romeo. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like they got to be hyped about that. But that's more like still good for them. But I think that's a lot more team oriented than just a driver.
Yeah.
because they're both up there.
Yeah.
Kind of shows that they had a good strategy, and then it was like more the team side. I would say.
Joe started last.
Did he?
I think so. That's what he said.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy? I was gonna put him in 3, but I didn't know if we were doing like
yeah. Let's do 3. You can have him.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, I'm
fucking
gonna
sick.
go Joe.
Joe.
Zhao. I don't know.
I don't know. We're American. We're gonna say it wrong no matter what.
Yeah,
So
we should learn them in their own languages.
like hear him. I
Yeah.
want to like. He didn't even know how to say because I think he was trying to Americanize his name.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he first joined the sport, because
True.
it's also like last name, first name goes in a different order
Yeah.
for them. So I think I think it's Guan Yu Zhou, but I think it could also be Zhou Guan Yu, depending on.
Yeah. So I think if you're in China, you say Guan Yu Zhou,
Yeah.
and then but it's still your last or his first name is still Zhou, and his last
Yeah,
but
so
his
then-
family name is Guan Yu
So then when he's out in Western countries, he goes
by Zhou
Zhou
Guan Yu.
Yeah. Interesting.
But we should figure out in each language and then just like be
Yeah.
on here and be like,
Because I know like
I don't even know.
I know Charles goes. He says Charles sometimes, and then the British announcers go Charles Leclerc.
Shawl.
Yeah.
Shawl.
It's like, so I don't know what that's all about.
But then they'll do
But then
Leclerc.
sometimes like in French he'll say Shaw. Like
Shaw.
he'll like I don't know. I think it just depends
Yeah.
on like your own language and like what you're, because I think like the like vowels are different and
Yeah.
all that. So
Leclerc. Like but then I'll hear the British people say Charles Leclerc. And it's like pick one.
yeah,
Pick
I hear
the
Leclerc,
French or
Leclerc,
whatever.
Yeah. I think you say Leclerc.
I think if you're gonna say Charles, you gotta say Leclerc. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna say Charles Leclerc or
Yeah.
Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck Leclerc. I think we just start calling him Chuck.
Chucky.
Chunky monkey.
Chunky.
Yeah, I don't know. My third, yeah, whatever. Let's just move on.
All right.
Funny seggy.
Yeah.
Funny segment for people who can't translate. You want to explain? It was your idea.
Yeah. So this is based off the film Mad Max Fury Road. If you have not seen it, we recommend it. I recommend it.
Yeah, it's a very unique movie.
Yeah.
Just like a big action, pretty cool.
Action, cars. I think the soundtrack's good. It's got Tom
I
Hardy.
don't remember. Yeah, Tom
Tom
Hardy star of the film.
He doesn't talk until
good-
like ever.
Good cinematography.
Yeah, I think it won like
um,
best
Like picture, or
some shit
something.
like that.
Yeah.
Best like action
Sequence,
explosion.
definitely action.
Some
Yeah,
it's
if
like
they have
CGI
that.
or something like that. Effects.
Or I could see
Um,
like costume design winning
Yeah,
that,
something like that.
yeah, something visual because it's pretty cool.
So I'll give some backstory. I said poke. Post-apocalyptic, or I could just say poke. I don't know. Post-apocalyptic. I think it's. I want to say Australia. Does that sound right?
Filmed?
Based.
Oh, based?
I think it's Australia, and pretty much the world is ended, and there's like little factions of people. So like, it starts in. I guess it's like way too much detail about the
Yeah,
movie.
I was gonna say that. It's a little too much detail.
Yeah.
Basically, they need to get from point A to point B. There's a lot of driving. There's suicidal people going after them who try
Yeah.
to destroy them. So
But the whole thing is like, they use cars to get to oil.
yeah,
And oil is kind of
And
like the
water.
new currency. Yeah,
And,
and
like,
water.
um,
So they have a bunch of like crazy cars, and like the whole movie is just like a crazy car chase.
yeah, and so it's basically like, which F1 driver would you pick to be your driver within this scenario?
Yeah.
So you got to think about like, how resilient are they? How good are they in off-road driving? Like there's some factors.
Will they swerve and, like crash a car into a wall? Will they do that?
Will they?
Some drivers won't.
Yeah.
Liam Lawson maybe wouldn't.
Logan Sargent definitely wouldn't.
No.
I don't know. But yeah, so that's the idea behind it. It's tough.
Yeah, I kind of got to think a little bit.
And it's hard. It's hard to go like off-road experience because most of them don't have off-road experience.
Yeah.
So I might go like, who's good in the wet weather?
Who's good with variability?
Yeah. And okay, I'm gonna split it up into a couple different factors, and I'm gonna say who I think would be the best.
No, you got to do one.
No, and then I'm gonna pick one at the end.
Okay, sure.
And then I'll pick one at the end. So I think pure, just like grit to finish the movies, like that final drive. I'm going to Esteban Ocon.
Whoa.
Just from this past weekend too. Just gave a great example. Threw up in his helmet, kept going. He's and he's got that dog in him, dude.
Yeah,
he's
he does
feisty.
have that dog.
He's feisty on track. He'll do anything to finish the race in good points. He's resilient. He lost his seat in F1, came back. He might just be my number one, honestly.
Okay.
He's not bad in the wet. I wouldn't say he's like a standout great. Like he hasn't had a standout great wet weather
Monaco?
drive.
Was that?
Oh yeah. And was it wet?
I don't know.
I don't even remember.
I don't know.
I
He got
remember,
up
like,
there somehow.
there was a
Maybe
really
I'm
met-
thinking of Pierre or something.
He was podium in Monaco though.
Okay. I don't know.
And that's
if it was
just like very stressful track, so he's getting close to the walls.
Yeah.
And he killed it. Like that qualifying takes some balls. And he qualified well. Yeah. So that might just be my pick.
Okay. I don't want to be a normie here, but I might have to just go Max Verstappen.
Mad Max.
Mad Matt. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my god.
Interesting.
I think it's just because I think he's got the dog more than anyone. I think growing up,
With Joss. Staring him down. Joss could play the villain in this movie.
He could. He potentially could. Yeah, I just think in terms of like what driver is willing to, like obliterate another car to survive. I think I have to go Max there. There's not a lot of drivers that would. My other thought was Alonso.
Alonso could be good.
A little old though.
Yeah, a little old. You want like also someone who will like get out of the car and like go like throw something at someone or something.
Are we considering that?
Yeah, it's like that's like the movie, dude. It's like
Okay,
he's
true.
like also who's the horniest? Who's gonna save the woman? That's a big part of it. It's
True.
bringing the woman to a different place and saving them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely like not picking Stroll.
Yeah. There's
Like,
definitely obvious drivers.
Not picking Logan. He gave up too quick in this race.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't give up when there's like fire in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, if you've seen the movie,
you'll know. I think
It's
everyone
insane.
pretty much knows what we're. Even if you haven't seen the movie, I feel like you've heard
Yeah.
of it and like
True.
it's pretty engrossed in pop culture. So
Mad
Yeah.
Max.
some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, that'd be a good comment down below. I don't think anyone makes it this far in the
Yeah.
podcast, but if you do, put a genie emoji in the comments.
Can they do that?
I think so. You can put emojis in there.
Okay.
Try it out. I don't know. If not, just write the word genie. Because we just
Or-
came from the Middle East.
Or just comment what driver you think.
Yeah. that would probably be a better way to put it. I just was thinking if they didn't want to think about it, they could just throw something in there.
Man,
Just so we'd
gotta
know.
make them think.
Yeah. Cool. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I just opened a beer, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
okay.
we got editing to do and stuff.
That's true.
Thumbnail making. I got an NBA game I'm going to tonight,
Yeah.
which is fun because we don't
Preseason.
have an NBA team, but they're playing a little preseason game here, so
Yeah.
it's fun stuff.
Let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about?
What do you think about that? On the horizon, next podcast, American Special for the pre-race. Wait, no, isn't there a gap in between?
I hope not. No.
No.
Next
It's not
3
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah. So next week's pod will be American themed for our predictions for the Austin Grand Prix.
Very excited.
We'll be drinking American drinks. We might be dressed up. We will be dressed up.
Might be.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
For that. I think we should go Texas only drinks.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Because we're going to have the Vegas one.
Yeah.
So we got to go.
Vegas is a different vibe of America. So,
definitely.
and you'll be able to tell the people at home. You'll be able to tell.
Oh, you'll get it. Is there anything else?
You can always say in the next
Yeah,
one
we'll
if you
save it.
think of something. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your time and listening to two guys drinking beer on a couch talking about Formula One. I appreciate it. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.